Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live, with this week's market breakdown. And I'm going to be a little more brief than usual because we're coming to the end of the year. We're exhausting everything, and then we're going to start the whole new year, new month, and all that stuff. We also have a massive amount of inside weeks, as we can expect in the holidays doing nothing. But more importantly, for this week, what we want to see is what type of initial breaks do we get. And so what I mean by that is, even if the S&P here breaks the inside week down, it's got a long way to take this baby out, right? This bar out. And so another thing that's really important is if we remember we had inside weeks Christmas last year, and I'm going to show you that right here. You might recall this one. And here was the beginning of the year inside week, and then New Year's week we went RevStrat, shooter counters inside week, and then we got obliterated and crushed. So what we were going to be looking for these inside weeks is not only the initial break to see if how many of these things break in the same direction, which would be a simultaneous break, or if some go up, some go down, and what does it set up to start off the year, because that was really important last year. So SPY starting off as inside week, you got QQQ. Here's an inside week off the highs. You got the small cappers. Yep. Small cappers, and then FAS. I mean, you name it, going inside weeks, pretty much everything. So we need to see how these things break. Obviously, a lot of eyeballs on the old Dow Jones inside week here as we're trying to get towards 20,000. So just a few inside weeks to keep an eye on there. I'll blow it up so you can see a little better. You got UTEX trying to go inside week up in here. You've got Boeing inside week here, and if you look at the daily Boeing, you're going to see this. You can pretty much see it right here. There's a waka like that, but you can see this very clear accumulation going on like this here. Like this, just walk. So the question is inside day, inside week, going to accelerate this baby and try and help the 20,000 crew. You've got also UNH here, went inside day and up last week. That brought it into another momentum hammer. Remember, it did that inside week momentum hammer up. You're going to see that again. You can watch the other HMOs with that. And mini mines going inside week, inside day combo to start off. So just a handful there to see if that can get those Dows going. You've also got the trannies. And the trannies, once again, here, 2-bar inside week pattern here. This stuff's still up in here after this big monster run, and that's why you're seeing a stall out like in the airlines, American Airlines, inside week there, and all that kind of stuff. So one of the more obscure ones that we've been watching here is this rail, and trying to get out of this tighter lower triangle here, inside week for this RAIL. And one of the important things that we're looking when we come to the end of the year, and I'm going to have some videos on this stuff too, is those longer term charts to see what are we really setting up here. And you can see how this thing used to be somebody way up in here. Outside month tries to get outside of it, and not just like that tight triangle, it can't, but certainly want to be aware of any pattern like that, and if we can eventually get out of this thing and up into there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. We've got gold is going inside week. You've got here off the lows. You got crude oil. All this stuff I'll get into another video with some longer term stuff that so you don't get bombarded next weekend with everything. So with the XLE, also inside week, and XOP and all that kind of stuff, like pretty much everything. Just a couple of ideas to keep an eye on here. You've got Oxy. Is an inside week here, and the reason that's going to be important is you can see that you tried to hit it here, now bringing it up here, still lower highs. The question is inside week going to be strong enough to take a shot up into there, because we've seen a lot of strength in the other large integrated like Chever. And on the monthly, what that would do is it would try and take this monthly RevStrat here, and even if it doesn't go very far, we could have 2 monthly hammers to start off the year to see if we can take a shot up into that stuff. So keeping an eye on a little Oxy, and certainly some of these refiners. As you can see, the nice bright green month coming up, and you can see here on the weeklies here like this, and at HFC would be RevStrat because it opened and closed back into that inside range, a 2-bar pattern on the weekly. And we've been watching this because once again, once you come off the lower ends of these monthlies, start shooting up into this stuff, we're going to continue to look for actionable signals in any periods of time frame continuity. So you got Valero here on the weekly. You can see this too, the inside week hammer, and so a bunch of those refiners, and CVI. This thing been a monster here, and there's 2 inside weeks. You can get a measured move of this baby up into this stuff. That would be a real nice one. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. If you go to XLK, once again, inside week, SMH here, inside week right near the highs. And so, as I talk, usually, I talk about watching what are things doing during the month and whether you want to be involved. And that's why something like Amazon, if you get chopped up on Amazon and Facebook, you can see this inside week, and it's just all month, nowhere near taking out each other's either side. Now I know that there's tradable moves in there, but as far as getting the real haymaker trender, inside month, and inside month for Facebook coming most likely too. Just a couple to keep an eye on right out the chute here to start off the week. I'm going to keep an eye on this Autodesk. Multiple inside pattern, but that sets up the rev strat. The inside bar countered with hammer, so Autodesk with rev strat above 77.08. CAVM on the downside tries to top of the triangle, rev strat to the downside. We're going to see if they want to bring him in. And Palo Alto rev stratter off the recent lows to see if there's anything there. XRT we know was getting pounded last week. And that was inside week and down and getting hit. Not the end of the world, but certainly it felt like it in certain stocks. And so we want to see if there's any follow through to that. And you're going to see, just starting off the week, you can have Macy's, LB, Nordstrom's, all inside days to start off to see if they want to continue that carnage. Another thing I've been talking about all month too was we knew that IBB was almost going inside month for sure. And this is something you want to know about. When it's not nowhere near taking out anything, it's a doji on the month, and it's been case by case basis. And when something's doing that, you can expect the shorter term to be really choppy. Like in here, good luck. And I know there's moves in here and there, and people will say that, but for the most part, you want to get those things that are really moving, so you can get the follow through, which you weren't going to get. So it's case by case basis, and most of the big ones are going inside month. Here's BIIB, and here you can see this going inside month like most of them. The good thing for BIAB, if they want to have a little push at the end of the year, you do have rev strat to the upside weekly if they want to try and get that going. But oftentimes the better play, instead of just trying to figure out where the things that are doing nothing are doing, is when we do see strength in the IBP, is we want to, at Doji Week, when we do get this strength in the IBPs, we're looking at stuff that is already stronger. And get IONS, you can see this hanging around the near recent highs. We've got Clovis. Clovis here stalls out, goes inside day, but for at least the rest of the month here, you do have that up, sideways, inside month, and up. So we'll see if there's any follow through there. And TSRO still just hanging near the recent highs, albeit an inside month, but nowhere near the collapse, after holding all this that you've seen in a lot of other things. A couple more in the ags. Mosaic here getting a little interesting. And Mosaic here on the weekly would be rev strat back to the upside. And whether that works or not, we can watch AGU, because AGU, this is nasty. Goes up, straight back down, now doji. So the question is it going to go inside this week, or is it going to continue this, go down, rest, and start to get smashed? Because it starts off as rev strat day to the downside. So either way on those things could be a little bit interesting. If we go to Uncle Carl, and getting to help out with the SEC appointment doesn't hurt when you're Carl. If you go to the monthly, you can see how much higher this used to be, up to 150, and coming through this stuff. And so to start off the week, you're going to have rev strat to the upside. Inside bar countered with hammer. If Carl wants to try and get out of this hammer and be somebody again. And then last but not least, Tesla. And Tesla, one of the things I like about having so many videos, you can go back and see what I said, and this is exactly what I was talking about for Tesla. When people ask me, you go to the monthly and you're going to see this. You're going to see this bar here, 1, 2, 3, 4 months completely within that bar's range. Then they attempted to take it down, get out of that range, and brought it back up. Right after an outside month here, that's a fractal triangle. So by getting back into this and then reclaiming that was positive, right? And so we did that by going inside week here. Inside week takes all that stuff right back up. We have no new actionable signals, but it's certainly a way that we can follow things in a very orderly fashion. So at least at this point, the good part is it's rejected the break of this bar here by coming back in. So we're going to look for setups to take out this here, that 215.66, and then try and stay above it. And if we do, then we can start talking about running towards all that kind of stuff here. But no new actionable signals in Tesla. And like I said, we're going to have a lot of all these inside weeks need to resolve one way or the other to either set up the rev strats for the new year or go inside and really dry up. But what we'll be doing is following how all these things set up, because when we get larger moves in the market, market is when everything sets up in the same direction. At this point, we potentially have that because we have almost everything going inside week and another short week, which raises the probability of more inside weeks because there's less time. So that's what's going to do coming into the end of the year. So a little more brief than regular, but I'm going to have some longer term stuff for you broken down so we don't have one massive video that ruins everybody's life or enjoys it. So hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. And we got a shortened week this week, and then Happy New Year. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Black Quant VTF here at T3 Live.